What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be putting two chicken sandwiches head to head, a Japanese style and an American style. And you all know that I love to make Asian food on this channel, but everybody also seems to love American style chicken sandwiches like Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. So today I'm going to be taking a popular style of Japanese chicken sandwich and comparing it with kind of the Americanized version of a chicken sandwich. So let's dive into this recipe. Alright everybody, let's make this American style and Japanese style chicken sandwich. So I've gone ahead and removed all of the fat and gristle off of my chicken breast here, and you want to kind of size them up based on your bun and bread. For our Japanese style Katsu chicken sandwich, we're going to take our meat, cover it with plastic wrap, and kind of flatten it to an even thickness here. You want to shoot for just above a 1/4 inch thick. For the American style, we are going to be marinating this in buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can take normal milk and add a tablespoon of vinegar per cup of milk and just store this in the refrigerator at least an hour, ideally overnight. The Japanese Katsu sandwich has now been thinned out, so we're going to have to trim it up a little bit. So what I've done is taken a piece of my bread and cut the crust off, which is what the end result is going to be, and then trimming my chicken based off of that. The breading for this Katsu sandwich is simply breadcrumbs. For the American style, we're going to be using a flour-based breading, so you're going to need to grab a bowl here and a few spices. I will link below the exact amount of flour and spices that I used, but for the American style, you want to use flour and some form of pepper, paprika, salt, and whatever other herbs and spices you want. Then we're going to whisk this in, and there your breading for your American sandwich is complete. You can also go ahead and drizzle in 2 tablespoons, no more than this, of your buttermilk, and if you threw it out already, just some milk, and whisk this in, and this will provide those craggly bits on your sandwich. Now for our dredge station, we're just going to coat our chicken in a plate of flour, over to our eggs, and then into our flour bread mixture. And you want to press this down, and you want there to be no dry spots on this chicken. I recommend keeping one hand wet and one hand dry. You can also toss your chicken around really well, and you're shooting for this here nice and evenly coated with no spots. Same thing applies for the panko chicken. All you want to do is press it in really good, and now we're going to get our bread prepared. So for the Katsu Japanese sandwich, you just want to cut as close as you can to the edges of some white bread and remove the crust. For our American style, I'm just using some store-bought brioche buns. These are relatively expensive, so if you wanted to make these cheap and you had the time, you can definitely make these at home. Just toasting them in the pan until they're a nice golden brown on the bottom with a little butter spot. Now let's talk about frying our chicken. You ideally want to be frying at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to start mine out at 350 here for my American style chicken, and I'm just going to fry this until it is nice and set up and lightly golden brown. If you've seen any of my other fried chicken videos, you know I like to do what is called a double fry. Now ideally you want to fry this for about 3 minutes and then remove it and set it on a wire rack. Let it cool a little bit and then place it back in the fryer for an additional 3 minutes at a higher temperature, roughly 25 degrees higher, and immediately take these out and immediately hit them with salt so this salt sticks to it. Then for the Katsu sandwich, you just fry at 350 until it's a nice golden brown. It will occur quicker since it is a thinner cut of meat now. Also for my Katsu Japanese sandwich, I'm going to be making a slaw since our breading wasn't seasoned, and a lot of the flavor is going to come from this. So I thinly chopped some slaw here, and I'm adding in just a touch of sriracha for some spice, as well as some mayo, a small splash of soy sauce, then mix it together. I had to move mine over to a bigger bowl. Oh, and I added in a little bit of black pepper here at the end. Mix that together and we can assemble our sandwiches. I also wanted to mention that this is a perfect weeknight meal, and it comes together in under 30 minutes, and it would definitely go faster if you just focus on one particular sandwich. So for the Katsu sandwich, I'm laying the chicken down first, followed by the slaw and the top bread. And then for the American style, we're going with the chicken, some pickles. I use bread and butter here because it's sweeter, and then crowning both of our kings in all of their glory. Now, let's taste test both of these chicken sandwiches. Alright everybody, the chicken sandwiches are done and I'm going to do a quick taste test. I've cut this Japanese style one in half. I gave the other half to my brother, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick taste test. Alright, so right off the bat, it's immediately got a nice fresh flavor. Super crunchy from those panko breadcrumbs. You could obviously hear that when I bit into it. But the slaw on it is nice and salty. A little bit of spice to it from the sriracha. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. It might be hard to beat. The American style sandwich looks really good, as you previously saw. So let's dive into that one as well. Alright everybody, let's go for the American style chicken sandwich next. I think we have a winner here. Just a classic. Classic. Alright, so they're both different. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10, and I'm going to give the Japanese version an 8 out of 10. I feel like I could eat like 4 or 5 of the Japanese version with the cut off crust and the thinner chicken. It just makes it seem like it's kind of lighter in terms of being a chicken sandwich, even though it's not really. Whereas the American style, it's a lot thicker, it's got a lot more of a bite to it, but I actually kind of prefer that. I don't know. It's just kind of what I grew up eating, so that's probably one reason. But in my opinion, even though it's got less going on to it, it's just got a simple beauty to it. And I think sometimes I feel like simple ingredients can be the key to something tasting really good, and I think that stands true with a chicken sandwich. Alright everybody, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like on it and consider subscribing to my channel, because I'm making good food here every single week and I want you to be a part of this community. So with that being said, I will see you all on the next one.